when I used to do yearly contracts where we just level things off 12 months out of the year, I've gotten burned quite a few times, probably more than 7 or 8 times, maybe like 10 times in 15 years I've gotten burned. Because what ends up happening is you'll mow the property through the summer for, well, not the minimum, but at a discount, because you're getting paid 12 months out of the year. And then they'll fire you, or they'll sell the property, or they'll move, die, or something in October, right? So then you got 3 or 4 months by the end of the year that you're not getting paid. See, but you done gave them a discount all summer. I think David over at Hazards touched on that in Eddie's comments. So that's the #1 reason why I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. I just don't, because there's absolutely no way that you're not going to get beat eventually. Think about it. At some point, either you're going to quit the customer, or they're going to move, die, or fire you at some point. And whenever that happens, they're not going to pay you through the year. Not most customers. You know, they're going to say, well, thank you for all your years of hard work, and then bam, you're gone. And of course, that could happen today, right now, on this job I'm on right here, right? But they don't owe me nothing. I'm charging a premium. And then also, another thing you got to be thinking about when you're talking about a premium, stretching it out for 12 months is, well, they're holding my money. And I don't like for customers to hold my money. When I give them a discount for the 12-month contract, and I give them a discount in the summertime, they're holding my money, basically. You know, and so they're holding money that I could be using to buy and develop other jobs, that I could buy equipment, I could pay for labor, pay for fuel to make even more money. So if we'll just use this as an example, say there's you know, they're paying $300 a month year round, okay? And if you are doing the lawns in the summertime, and not doing the 12-month deal, we'll say it's $500 a month. Okay, if you're not doing the 12-month deal, but since you're giving them a deal, they'll stretch it, and you're doing them a favor, and they're doing you a favor. You stretch it out to where you got work in the winter. So now you're at 3 months, $300 a month. Well, that $200 a month there that you're not getting in the summertime, hoping and praying that everything goes okay throughout the summer and into the winter. Well, that $200 a month, I could be taking that $200 and I could be paying labor to do more work somewhere else. I could be taking that money to make a mower payment. I could be taking that money and investing that money whatever way I deem necessary to make more money in the business. If the customer's holding it, I can't use it, and if I can't use it, then I can't invest in the business with that money. Anytime, it's just my take. Anytime you can get your money right now, that's what you want to do. Now, if you're not so smart with money, and you don't know how to hold money, and you don't know how to invest your money, and you don't know how to work your time, and you don't know how to do a lot of things, then hey, that's a great safeguard against self. But I'm past all that. I don't need to protect myself from myself when it comes to my money management. I need that money. I want that money in my bank account, then I can do what I need to do with it in order to grow the business. If you got 10 customers like that, right, and you're giving them a discount of $200 a month for 4 months out of the year because you're mowing, and you're getting a nice discount because they're 12 months, well, now you're talking about $2,500 a month that they're holding of your money. And the thing about it too is it hits you so many ways, because they're holding your money, and so therefore they're holding your time, because now you're having to spend as much time on the properties, but you're not getting the money, and that makes it where you can't do as many properties too. And then if they let you go at the end of the season, you're not getting that money. They sucked up your time all summer where you couldn't maybe do one extra property a day because you're on their property, because you're trying to fulfill a yearly contract. You're trying to make sure that you get it where they're good. And it sucks your time up. And so then if they fire you, move, die, fire you, kids take over, granny hires brother-in-law, whatever, then you can't get back none of that time either that you spent on their properties in the summertime. And you can't get the money that you're short either. It's to me, it's a big no-no in the lawn maintenance world, to me. Now, if you got an ironclad contract where, you know, they sign up and they're going to pay 12 months out of the year, and you want to take them to court and go through all that trouble over, you know, $1,000 or whatever, you know, whatever that number may be, if they fire you, then you can spend your time like that, right? I'm not going to spend my time like that. I'm going to safeguard myself from anything that wastes my time. Because y'all know, at the end of the day, that's what we sell out here. We sell our time. And I'm not going to do anything, knowingly do anything that may cost me time and not be earning out here. Nothing. And if I got to take somebody to court over $500 or $1,000, I ain't saying I won't do it, I ain't saying I will do it, but it's time consuming. And while I'm chasing that $500 in court and all that riffraff, I'm losing $1,000 somewhere else. And I don't know for sure, but I guarantee you, most guys that are out here in my spot, and y'all can leave a comment if y'all want to, if somebody beats them out of a couple $100, they ain't gonna do nothing about it. They can't do nothing about it because it's not worth it. The risk versus reward is not worth it. I mean, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it if they decide not to pay you on the yearly at the end of the year on the yearly contract, and you got an ironclad contract, ironclad, and and they fire you in September, right when the mowing slows down. So you got October, November, and December that they're supposed to pay you full rate at, you know, $400 a month or whatever. So that's $1,200, right? They move, okay? You're not going to get that $1,200. They die. You're not going to get that $1,200. Well, Ray, I'll just take their ass to court. I want you to look in the mirror when you say that. And if you're out here in the grind like I am, you ain't going to do that because it's just too much trouble. You're just going to keep moving. So what you have to do, since I know that, and I'm not going to ever put myself in a spot where I got to take somebody to court. Never. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do that. I'm not going to ever, you know, not knowingly. Something to think about when you're thinking about doing a yearly contract. And people are not intending to beat you, but things happen in life. And if the parents die, or the dad dies and mom goes into the old folks home and the kids take over, the kids ain't going to pay you for the rest of the season. I mean, I know they're not, for the most part, because I've had that happen to me a lot, because by the mere fact that we're cutting grass, we're usually, our demographics are, you know, the elderly, and they get sick and they die, they have heart attacks. And then when somebody dies, how petty do you feel going and asking them, hey man, they owe me $1,200 for the rest of the, you know, for the rest of the season. See, it makes it all awkward. And then I've had the kids straight up tell me, well, dad died, so we don't need your service no more. We're going to sell the house. Sorry. And I'll be like, well, your dad had a contract. Yeah, but my dad died, so we don't have a contract anymore. Or he went in the hospital. See, you got to protect yourself from these type of things, and you got to protect your time from going to court over something that is kind of petty. You know, in the grand scheme of life, it's kind of petty. It ain't petty to me, and it ain't petty to you, but it's gonna suck your time. And the only time I would take somebody to court, it ain't even gonna be about the money usually. because I'm never going to let nobody get money deep in my pocket anyway. Not ever. Not ever. I'm not going to allow that to happen. So, you're not going to get deep in my pocket if I'm worried about you paying me. And that's what you call, well, you gotta be aware of what's going on around you. You got to be proactive in everything that you're doing out here. And I'm not going to let nobody get deep in my pocket, no matter how bad I think I need to work. Because if they don't pay you, then it's all for nothing. Nothing. And I just don't do that, man. Not no more. There's too much work out here and too many good customers out here for you to have to fall into that trap. And that's a trap, y'all. It's a trap for sure. You don't want to do that. You don't want to risk that. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story before I get started over here. Just last year, I had a customer, and I've been doing the property, and y'all, and anybody that's watching the channel, y'all are over there. I've been doing the property for 10 years. Okay. Well, the gentleman that hired me, you know, he's the landowner, and me and him had a great relationship, loved him to death. He was just a great guy. And we had a good relationship, I mean, for years. And I would do the properties, and I would do everything, you know, expected on the property. And, you know, and he had big acreage. And I would do everything outside of the lawn care too. Anything. I'd cut his fields. I would do everything. I was probably getting, you know, well, I was getting $600 a month from him, just on the lawn maintenance stuff. And then every time we did the bushes, I would get more. You know, I would charge him for the bushes. But we had a 12-month contract, $600 a month for the lawn. And then I would trim the crepe myrtles. There's like 45 crepe myrtles on each side of the driveway. And any of y'all that's been watching the channel, y'all can go back and y'all can see it's a really nice property. So years go by, and we're doing the properties every year. I'm probably getting, with all the side action work and everything, and the lawn care part, I'm probably getting $30,000 a year. Yeah, a lot. And I'm trimming trees. I'm doing all kinds of stuff around there, you know. So years go by, he gets older, and you know, and he starts showing signs of dementia. This is a fact. And I get choked up thinking about it, man, because I really liked him. He gave me my first shot at a big property. And so, you know, when I think about Ed, I think about, well, I think about a lot of the first time things that I did over there. And yeah, but we had developed a great relationship, and a joking relationship, and he was always very grateful, and he had money, you know. He was one of the big electrical contracting engineers that built Hartsfield Airport, Atlanta Airport, back when they built the airport. So good dude. So he started getting dementia, but I was still slow and steady, and I knew he was getting dementia, right? You could tell by he wouldn't, you know, sometimes I come over there and he would say, hey, but he couldn't remember my name. Because we always had a lot of conversations and stuff when I was there. I would stop and talk to him as he's pulling out in his Mercedes or whatever. You know, we would talk. And he would say, yeah, you think you could do this and that? And I'm like, yeah. He said, just invoice. You know, I'm like, okay. So, to make a long story short, he got dementia, and well, his daughter came in there for the last year, and she was paying me and everything. And then, but me and him had an agreement of $600 a month. Well, his daughter and her husband came in there after he got really sick and he had to get put into a home, that, you know, and let me go. They were going to let a mortgage company, they were going to sell the property and let a mortgage company take over. But they strategically waited until the end of August to do it. And I got video somewhere, you know, on YouTube of when they fired me. So I lost the money from September the 1st all the way to December. 4 payments of $600 I lost. Not to mention all the other jobs that we usually do during the fall, right? I lost all that. I probably lost about $6,000. But the hardest part for me to swallow was the $2,400 that I lost on the monthly contract that me and him had. And we'll say it was a verbal contract between me and him. So I'm down here in the South, and there's a good old boy network going on down here, and I am a firm believer in a handshake, especially when I'm dealing with old-time landowners, because that's what they like to do. And he would have never, I mean, he would have never approved of them beating me out of the $2,400. He would have never let them do that if he had been able to, you know, but he didn't have any control over the finances anymore. I lost $2,400. So, okay, say I have a damn ironclad contract with him, with him. He's got dementia. I told his daughter, I said, well, me and Ed had a contract. She said, yeah, but Ed is in the hospital now, and Ed is no longer making the financial decisions. That's what his daughter told me. I said, but we had a contract. She said, yeah, but the contracts are well, they're null and void, you know, since he's in the hospital, and he's no longer in charge of anything. He can't make rational decisions anymore. Now, could I have taken him to court and maybe got, you know, paid? You know, maybe. I doubt it, though, man. I mean, I doubt. I don't know what. I doubt I would have got paid that way either. You know, it would have been hard for me to do that. You know, because, well, me and him had a contract for 10 years, and we didn't re-up the contract every year or nothing. It was just, you know, it was just something that we did. And so I ended up taking a hit on the $2,400 minimum, and that was just one customer. So when you're thinking about doing a yearly contract, don't do it. Just what I do now is I don't do the yearly contracts. I'm just smart. I just try to be I just try to manage my money better. And then if they need work in the wintertime, I'll do it on a as needed basis and get paid as needed. I don't do the yearly stuff no more. I done got burned. I probably in the last and since I've been in business, I used to always try to secure the yearly stuff, just like Eddie was talking about, and some guys in the comments were talking about. I used to always try to secure that, and for the most part, I did okay with it. But it ain't worth it to me. Not if you can manage your money right. See, and that goes back to what we talk about all the freaking time. Manage your money right, and you don't have to have yearly contracts. You take that money and you bank that money just like you would if they're paying you year round. You got to be disciplined when you're an entrepreneur to make the most money out here, and not to waste your time chasing down bad moves that you may have made. You know, and I'm not saying that all the customers are like that, and I'm not saying that I haven't made money that way, because I have. But after I got burned back in 2014, I quit doing that. But I'd already had this old customer, you know, and I just let him keep doing it because, well, we were friends, and you know, I never thought nothing about it until I got fired. And he would have never approved that, but they wouldn't even tell me where he was at. I couldn't even go talk to him. So it really hurt my feelings that the daughter would do me like that. And we're talking about a multi-million-dollar property. We're not talking about no $100,000 house. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar 200-acre farm. And y'all look back in my videos, y'all will see the, you know, Bo used to go over there all the time with me. But over the years, I have probably gotten hit in the mouth for over $10,000 or $12,000 in that same way. you know, by trying to secure the customer and trying to make it friendly for them, and for me when I couldn't manage my money or wasn't, you know, as savvy with money. If you're savvy with money, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do the 12-month deal and spread it out. If you're savvy with your money, you do the work, you get paid a premium, and then you work that money. So then when the wintertime comes, you're ready. Things that I used to do, I would pay my mortgage up front. Pay my truck payment up front. You know, that's the same thing as getting the money in the wintertime, except for there's no risk in that. It's risky when you are out here in the grind and you are hoping that the wintertime comes and the people don't move, die, or, well, fire you for whatever reason. See? But if you're smart with your money and disciplined with money, that's not a problem. You just get the full price in the summertime, and then you work with it. And then if they need you in the wintertime, well, they can just pay the same price. I know a lot of people probably, I don't know, but I would imagine a lot of people probably do that because they are scared they're not going to have work in the winter. So they take a little hit in the summer. I ain't worried about that. I want all my money in the summer, and I'll work and let me work with my money instead of them holding my money. Because what better hands for my money to be in than mine? Because it's my money. You know, when I'm giving them a discount, I'm giving them a discount for a 12-month contract. Eventually, when you do that, eventually you're probably going to get burned. Eventually. I mean, it's not designed for the contractor to win unless they're paying up front. Even if they're paying a month up front, you're still going to get, it's still not designed for a contractor to get to win in the long term. You're not going to win. You're going to lose every time. Eventually. Now, you might, you know, you're going to get, I know for a fact, you're going to get hit eventually if you're doing this with a lot of customers. Now, I don't operate with card on file. I don't do that either. I know that's something that I was considering doing at one point, but now that we got Zelle and Venmo and all that, I don't do that. I don't even, because I just get paid with Zelle or Venmo or Cash App or whatever, PayPal, whatever. So I don't even, so I took that off the list of, you know, different ways to get paid, because the apps have made it a lot easier to get paid. So, for the most part. All right, y'all, I got to get on this one right here. And y'all know what it is, man. I kick back,